Hello and welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today I wanted to talk about my first experience filming a wedding and a few tips that I've got for how to adapt to a very different kind of scenario. So I've always been used to shooting more corporate things where I can do things in my own time. I can plan the shots I want to shoot beforehand, at home look at pictures and everything and plan everything prior to me shooting. But a wedding is very different. You have very little time to plan. You're put into a situation where you just have to act very quickly and think as quickly as possible. And so yeah, I wanted to provide you tips as to how to help you shoot your first wedding. Now, a lot of the time, the first wedding you'll shoot will be for a friend or a family friend, something like that, someone you know. And it may be paid, it may not. Mine wasn't. I offered it just so I can get something to put in my portfolio. And yeah, I think my experience was quite difficult because number one, it was a gay wedding, and a lot of the time they can be very similar, but this one was a fair bit different to an ordinary wedding. It was on a boat in the middle of the River Thames, which was very cool, but that had its difficulties along with it. But yeah, if you do enjoy this video, please subscribe to the channel. And so the first thing is, what gear did I use? Now, of course, I used the Sony a7 Mark III with the 28-75mm lens. Now, preferably, you'd have about 3 lenses. One, I would say, would be like a 20mm 1.4, like a Sigma. Another one would be like a 24-70, 2.8, and the other one would be like a 70-200. Now, I only had this lens. I didn't really have much of an option to use another one. Now, this was decent because 28 is fairly wide and 75 is fairly zoomed in enough that I can get a fairly long shot. I also used my G7 with the 45-200mm zoom lens just so I could put that at the back and have that on the groom and groom at all times. And I had a Rode video mic on top just so I can record some ambient sounds and things like that. Now, I survived the day on 3 SD cards totaling at about 128 gigs, which was just about enough. I wish I had more, and 1 battery. But the useful thing about this camera is that I had it plugged into a power bank for a lot of the evening, so it could just recharge when I wasn't using it. Now, some things I'd recommend doing before the start of the wedding, and number one is get to know the photographer. I got to know the photographer fairly well beforehand, just so we could talk through a few things about how to not get in each other's way, how we're going to be doing things, and everything like that. And they can obviously help you with positioning. You can sometimes follow them around as they'll know good shots and good angles to get. Another thing is do a bit of scouting beforehand of the venue. So go and find locations that you want to set up a second camera, go and find a location that you want to put your camera. So I shot it in 1080p 60fps, most of it, apart from a few bits 120 fps. I didn't really see the point of using 4K at this point in your first wedding. It just makes it a bit more stressful. In post, I like to have the versatility of being able to slow down by half my footage, which is useful. And I wish I had more. I used about 125 gigabytes overall. So if I was shooting in 4K or 100 megabits a second or more, if you're just shooting on a different camera, then definitely get yourself like 400 gigabytes of storage. That's probably 400 gig plus, I'd recommend. Yeah, shooting 12-hour days it's a lot of work. Definitely make sure you have something like an ND filter on the front of your lens. Unfortunately, mine had a bit of strange distortion that I'd created the day before, so I wasn't able to use the ND filter, which was a bit annoying. I had to put up my shutter speed a lot of the time, which wasn't preferable, but I tried to make it as natural as possible. And you know, the first project's never going to be perfect, so if your shutter speed is a bit fast, the motion blur is a bit off, no one's really going to care. But ND filters are an absolute lifesaver. What things did I learn from this first experience and advice to give to you? So number one, I'd recommend beforehand creating a shot list. And so in any wedding, whatever the scenario, you'll basically have things that you want to shoot that'll make your life a lot easier in post. Things like getting a wide shot of the venue, decorations that say their name or something, get a few shots of that. Just you want to go in with some idea of what you're going to shoot, just so things are a bit less stressful on the day So you have a list of things you can tick off as you go. I've shot this, shot this, shot this. It lowers the amount of stuff you have to think about on the spot, just so you have stuff planned in front of you, which I wish I did, but now I've learned to do that. So don't make the same mistake as me. And also what this will do is it will lower the amount of crap that you shoot. Basically, I was sort of there thinking, all right, I don't know what I gotta shoot. I'll shoot a bit of everything just to be safe. Now, it's best to shoot more than you need, but it's also good to not shoot too much, as you only have a limited amount of storage, you only have a limited amount of time. There are things that you should have been at that you weren't at, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's a lot easier if you know the sort of thing, like a guideline, what you're gonna shoot on the day. It's a lot more useful. Those are my tips for shooting your first wedding. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please, as always, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And so we'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.